What's going on, y'all? Chris with NoLimitSquad, your personal Isochain and fitness vlogging channel. Today we're going to go over the 5 essentials of isometric training. And of course, they all flow into the Isochain because Isochain is isometric just by name and definition. So let's go into it. Alright, so the first thing, the warm-up, okay? The warm-up is very important. When we're warming up, that allows us to hit peak performance levels. But more importantly, well, instead of saying but, and more importantly, it keeps us safe, right? A warmer joint is a safer joint. Just like we wouldn't go into a stretch cold, we want to warm all that up first. Same thing applies here. When we're warm, when we're loose, and we warm up for like 2-3 minutes. If you want to be extra about it, you can do 5 minutes, whatever you want to do. We can hit peak performance levels. I have a video on should we warm up before using Isochain. If you haven't seen that, here's a link right here. Check that out. Yes, we should. I'll be honest, remember, I'm totally transparent on the channel. I've said that before. Have I been warming up? No, but I should. Essential number 2, total body tension. This one makes total sense. When I was reading this in the isometric manual, it totally made sense. There have been times over the years where I've utilized total body tension without realizing it. One, because my core is strong, and 2, it made the movement happen. Where if I wasn't utilizing total body tension, I might have had some decent range of motion on the exercise, but to be honest, it probably wouldn't have been as good. So here's an example, right? The row. When I perform the row, what I do, I'm so used to it, I've done it for years. I tighten up my core. When I'm pulling, as soon as I perform the concentric phase of the motion, I tighten up my core. So now I have essentially two muscle groups helping me pull that weight. Control, pull, control. That has allowed me to, this is not a flex at all. This allowed me to max both the lat pull down cable machine that you see on the Life Fitness, the cable machines like this right here. It's allowed me to max both of those out because I'm utilizing total body tension. And in fact, when I'm doing the lat pull down, because obviously I weigh less than the weight I'm pulling, a lot of the time I feel tension in my calves. I used to wonder why this is. Why? I've also felt it in my quads too. I'm doing a lat pull down. Why do I feel it in my quads? Why? Because I'm tensing so much on the contract. Don't get me wrong, it's coming down. It's coming down below the chin. Control, below the chin. Control, force production is through the roof. I'm tightening that up because when I tighten that up, I drive the power through my heels. Boom. Where's the next place it's gonna go? Here, right? Quads, boom. It's like a kinetic chain. And I said this before, I can't wait to do the video on kinetic chain linking. It is going to be sick AF. Stay tuned for it. Alright, then it comes up to the top. It flows. Just like with Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee mentions this and multiple times. It's a whole body. So people think it's just a punch is just arm strength. No, it's not arm strength. It starts from the foot, comes all the way up here. Boom! Total body tension. Kinetic chain linking, a little bit more kinetic chain linking. I'll go over that in another video. Does that make sense? Tighten up your whole body as you perform the movement. The more muscle recruit, remember, Heb's rule. Muscle fibers that wire together, fire together. That is going to get us on the channel really, really freaking strong. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? If I'm not, comment down below. Ask me to explain what I mean in more detail if you don't understand that. If that made sense, let's go to the next one. Number 3, rise time, okay? So whether we're performing a 6-second contraction for strength, a strength hypertrophy fusion where we're going for 20 seconds, or a straight hypertrophy for 45 seconds, there's still gonna be that 2 to 3 seconds of rise time, okay? So if you can see here, as soon as I start to pull, those first 2 to 3 seconds I'm pulling there, the number is skyrocketing up until right around second number 3 or 4 is when I hit peak contraction, and then seconds 4, 5, and 6 is a steady drop off in power. It makes sense, right? We can't utilize max power for seconds and then minute. Like we can't do, we're just not designed for that. We aren't. There's that rise time and then it's peak, slow descent. Most important thing in utilizing rise time is don't yank at the bar. When you yank at the bar, not only is it going to give a false reading, because remember, the spring tensioner and the loading ring are going to catch that. Remember, it's catching the tear too for the chain, so it's going to catch that movement right there, and it's going to give a false reading. So while you may have only been pushing with a force of 80 pounds, when it got yanked, it might have measured 110 for that split second that it was yanked. It wasn't really your true power, which was 80 pounds. Am I making sense here? Next essential, breathing. Being transparent. Do I always have the best breathing when I'm performing these isometric contractions? No, I'll be honest. Hey, I bet some of y'all aren't either. Okay, let's be transparent. That's what let's be transparent about it. All right, but I know that, listen, in my one video, 3 techniques to hit higher numbers on the Isochain, which if you haven't seen that, here's a link right here. It's so true. I mentioned this before in that video I'm referring to. The martial arts ki, when you, you know, and you exhale as you perform the strike, there's more power in that strike because you exhale. The vocality of it just makes it more threatening to the opponent. Of course, it's still exhale, it's still oxygen. Boom! You know what I mean? Versus, or just, you know what I mean? This is not going to be as powerful as, you know what I mean? I didn't even do it from my foot, so it's still half as powerful as it could be. Do you get my point? When we hold our breath, it's not really our true numbers. It's probably, maybe, I'm just coming up with the number right now. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I should do a video on it. Maybe like 80%, maybe. But when we are exhaling with everything we got, not holding anything in, like this, just, you know, where you start to get like weird looks from other people if you're doing that in public, that is your true number. You poured every ounce of energy into that isometric contraction. Y'all feel me? Get vocal. If not, just exhale. You'll find that when you're exhaling, it's probably gonna end up becoming vocal naturally. If you guys have done that, I'd like for you to drop in the comment sections below how you've noticed the difference being vocal or just exhaling during a contraction. Have you noticed a difference in your numbers? Comment down below. All right, so the last one, essential number 5, keep a neutral spine. When we are performing these exercises, when we can look at the display, look at it. If we can. Here's what I mean. If we're performing a bicep curl, where you should keep your head is up here. So from the side, if I hear the auditory, that's great. Chances are I'm not even focused on, I'm just pulling with everything I got, and then I look at the display by hitting max mode. If I look at the display, it causes your neck to bend and your back to round. All right, when we break form, just like in the gym, it screws our numbers up, so it's not our true number. So keep neutral neck, keep neutral spine. Exercises where I do look at the display are ones where it just happens to be at eye height. Front raise, that would be one of them. Boom. Shoulder press from bottom position. I can see it because if it's right here, I can see it. It's pointed down this way anyway, so I can see it. Does that make sense? Shoulder press from mid position. No, I can't see it. Clearly, it's above my head. The reverse curl. I can clearly just look down like this. Trying to look down while giving everything you got is gonna reduce your numbers. It's going to. So if you can look at it while it just happens to be eye level, do that. The visual feedback will tell you whether you're not giving it enough or if you're doing pretty good. We can always do more, right? But just make sure that whenever you're doing it, whenever you're performing a contraction, keep that chin up. This is a new product. We're almost at 6 months of the Isochain, at least for me. October 6th was when I got my first Isochain. I'm almost at 6 months. I still don't do all of these. It's a learning process. I'm doing more of it now, but in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, excitement kind of took over. I was just like, let's just do it first, figure out the details later. You will definitely maximize your results utilizing all 5 of these essentials. All right, guys, hopefully you found that helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment sections below. Thanks for watching. And if you're not yet part of the No Limit Squad, hit that subscribe button. Come join the squad with us. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.